Good morning. My name is Joe Hoyle. I'm speaking to you today from University of Virginia, where I own the faculty of the University of Richmond. We're in chapter about stock, and a lot of people are interested in stock. I invest, for example. A lot of people invest. They're always interested in knowing more about the stock of a company. Your uncle has called you. Your uncle owns with some friends an office supply store, and they're getting ready to build a new store. They need some money. And he's trying to decide how to raise that money. Now, every corporation, wherever they're incorporated, has one type of stock. It's called common stock. So if you start a corporation in Michigan or Delaware or anywhere else, you'll have to have common stock. And the rights of common stock are set by the state that you incorporate in. So if you incorporate in Delaware, Delaware law tells what rights the common stockholders have to have. And typically there's not very many. If the company gives a dividend, then you're entitled to your share of those dividends. That's a right of common stock. If they take a vote of the stockholders, you're entitled to vote. So for example, almost every corporation of any size will elect a board of directors, and you have the right to vote for those board of directors. But the rights of common stock are fairly limited. Now, your uncle has been approached by a financial advisor who says, when you get ready to raise the money for this expansion, why don't you issue preferred stock? And your uncle doesn't know what preferred stock is, and therefore has called you up. You're taking a financial accounting course. He hopes that you can explain to him what preferred stock is and what the advantages or disadvantages of preferred stock are. Clearly, he could issue more common stock and raise some money. He could issue debt and raise money. But here's the third possibility. He can issue preferred stock, and he's interested in knowing what that exactly means. Well, preferred stock is an ownership interest. And about 5, maybe 10% of the companies in the country seem to own preferred stock. It's certainly not 50%, it's definitely not 90%, but there's certainly some, about 5 to 10% of the companies in the country that have both common stock and preferred stock. Now, the rights of the common stockholders, as we've already said, is set by state law. The rights of the preferred stockholders is set by the contract. You'll have a preferred stock contract, and the common stockholders will say, here are the rights that we're going to voluntarily give to preferred stockholders. So until you pick up that document, and until you read that document, it's impossible to know what the preferred stockholders are even going to get, because every preferred stock is different. Some have one type of right, others have different types of rights. By far the most common type of preferred stock right is some type of right to a dividend. Now, I've already mentioned that common stock typically gets to share in a dividend. But the common stockholders can give that right up if they want. And what they can say is that the preferred stock dividend will be paid first. And only after the preferred stock dividend is paid will the common stock get the rest. So if you want to be an owner, but you want to know how much money you're going to get, then a preferred stock might be what you're interested in, because the dividend may very well be set on the contract. So the preferred stockholders will get their dividend, and then whatever is left over will go to common. Common stock is referred to as a residual ownership, meaning that once everybody else's claims have been satisfied, then common stock gets everything that's left. If there's nothing left, common stock gets nothing. If there's a lot left, common stock gets a lot. So what you hope is that once all the debts have been paid and the preferred stock dividends have been paid, then there's a lot left over for common stock. So your uncle might decide that he wants to sell preferred stock because he can specify exactly in that contract what the preferred stockholders are going to get. There's no uncertainty. We will give you a 5% dividend. Now that means they won't get any more than 5%, but they should get the 5%. Dividends are not guaranteed. They're not like interest, but they're pretty much normal that you pay the dividend that you're specifying. So your uncle can say, I will give you a 5% dividend and then we'll get the rest. This is another way, like debt, to use financial leverage. If your uncle's company can make more than 5% off that money, then that extra amount will go all to the common stock without your uncle or his other owners having to put up any money. And as I've said in my other videos, if you can make a profit off of your making no investment, that's a great way to have a successful enterprise. So in this case, if he doesn't want to share the common stock ownership, your uncle can set up a contract and say, you're going to get these rights and these rights only. And those rights are usually dividends, but could also be some kind of voting rights. There can be all kinds of rights set in that contract as a way to entice someone to come into the ownership, but to limit what that person's going to get, so that if more profits are made, your uncle gets the residual. All businesses have common stock, some have preferred stock. Those that have preferred stock like the idea that they can specify the rights that the owners of the preferred stock are going to get. We're talking about common stock, preferred stock, and the ownership of a company. I hope that some of you that are watching this video will go out one day and create your own business. The world needs more entrepreneurs. Go out there and make some money. Have a great day.